heck? Okay, I think I'm live. Am I live? Am I live? My countdown didn't work. Oh no! I think I'm live. Can you guys hear me? Oh no, there was supposed to be a countdown and then there was no countdown. Okay, it looks like I am live. Sorry for lack of countdown. It's been a rough day. It hasn't really been a rough day like necessarily, but like I was running late. Joshua Mine's meeting went half an hour later than it was supposed to. I was going to do a completely different stream today. The countdown didn't work. But we're here now. You know, no worries. No worries. All right, guys. Well, today, because I was a little pressed for time and I was going to do something else, we can do that other thing tomorrow. Um, we are going to do an episode of Nitwits. I haven't done an episode of Nitwits for a while. Nitwits is basically a show where, we need to manage some expectations for Nitwits, all right? I really do try to bring a certain level of maybe not civility necessarily, maybe not even professionalism, but a certain level of nuance, I suppose, to my normal content. Nitwits is not a show where we do that. Nitwits is a show where I knit. I'm binding off a shawl today, which means I'm finishing a shawl. You can see I'm putting the edge on the shawl. Been working on the shawl for a while. And we watch something that I'm interested in watching. And I kind of figure if I'm going to watch a YouTube video, like I don't know people who don't know me and don't watch my content regularly, like you might not know that I don't watch other creators for the most part. I'll watch like royal news. I will on occasion watch like that narcissist that I really like because I think he's very insightful about psychology. I really don't watch a whole lot of other creators. I don't watch other creators in the political space. I don't watch other creators, that are commentating on current events and woke ideology. And it's nothing, well, for the most part, it's nothing to do with them. It's mostly to do with I just don't want to live in this world all day every day. I want to do stuff too. But every once in a while there comes a piece of content that I want to watch. And maybe I want to offer my insight on. And maybe sometimes, just for fun, I want to be a little bit bitchy too. Because I'm an Aries. It's my month of narcissism. I can do what I want. And sometimes I can be a catty little bitch. I know this is shocking to people. I do. But you know what? We all have multiple sides of our personalities. And this is a side of mine that I like to channel with friends by watching content on the internet. So if you are looking for a serious intellectualized discussion, you're gonna be really, really, really disappointed in this stream. I promise you. This is not going to be that kind of stream. If you're looking for cattiness, if you're looking for gossip, if you're looking for drama, then you have found your place. You have. Welcome. I'm really glad you're here. Today, you guys know that I've been doing this thing with AI art where I have a whole store now that I'm building based off of designs I'm making from AI art, and it's called Unwoke Art. You can find it by going to unwokeart.com. I also have this Substack, which is unwokeart.substack.com, which you can subscribe to for free. And basically what it is that every time I post a new design or I launch a new design, I will do a little write-up about the design. I'll tell you a story about the design. I'll tell you why I made it, kind of my thoughts behind it, and I'll show you some products that it's on. And you can download the meme for free if you want to, or you can buy it on some stuff. Now, the most my most popular design right now is one I just launched recently. It's the Cheshire Cat Be Different design. And I'm actually really proud of this one. I really love this one. And I'm really so happy that you guys love it too. And so I launched this and I wrote a story about why I picked this and what it means and the spiritual meaning behind it and all that stuff. And you can download the meme for free. You can do whatever you want with the meme. It's up to you. And then if you want to buy some merch to support the work I'm doing and also just get something cool, you can give it as a gift or whatever. I show you what it looks like on different products. People really love this mug. I really love the mug too, if I'm honest about it. The mug looks great. The water bottle looks great. It's on stickers. It's on posters. It's even on a journal. So I basically show you the design, and you can decide what you want to do with it. And I'm really enjoying the process of using AI to make art. The fact of the matter is I am perfectly capable of drawing, of painting, of making digital art. I know how to do this stuff. I've done it for a really long time. The problem that I have run into is the time factor because, as my regular viewers know, I have about 8,000 projects on my plate on any given time. And as much as I would love to spend all my time making art during the day, I don't have the time to do that. And so, about a month and a half ago, I kind of had this epiphany that I could use AI to take these images that are in my head and to make something of them and to make something cool. So like I'll give you an example of another one that I made recently. It's called the There Goes Our Hero design of a dragon burning down the Capitol in DC. Now, I'm not just making this stuff in AI and then just posting it. This one specifically took a lot of finagling. It took a lot of finagling. It took finagling two separate images, kind of putting them together and stuff like that. But I really like it, and I think it provides commentary on the world today. Yeah, I'll show you another one. I love this one. I love it. Joe Biden's presidential portrait. Joe Biden as a lizard man. Again, I'm perfectly capable of making this stuff on my own, but AI makes it so much easier. And one of the things that I love about AI is it allows people who either don't have the time or maybe haven't developed the skill set to be able to be creative, to be able to play with ideas, to be able to create something tangible that takes the images they might have in their head and brings it into reality. And I generally think that more creativity is good, and you can have issues with AI in general, and we can talk about some of those issues, and we're going to talk about some of those issues. But I generally think that, you know, creativity is part of the human experience. And I believe that we are either creators or destroyers in life. And so if you're not creating something, either because you don't believe you can, or because you don't have the tools to do it, you don't have the resources to do it, you're really inclined to kind of fall into this place of trying to destroy the good work of others because for whatever reason, you're not tapping into your own creativity. So I generally feel that AI is a net positive. And I don't agree with this. I don't agree. I don't think that AI is not real art. I think AI art is good for prototyping ideas, but I think it's best to flesh out what AI generates with real art. Well, what's real art? What is real art? Is a banana duct taped to a wall real art? Because that real art sold for millions of dollars a couple years ago at that what is that art thing in Miami? You know what I'm talking about. I cannot remember the name of it right off my head. But literally a banana duct taped to a wall was considered real art enough. Art Basel. Thank you. Art Basel. A banana duct taped to a wall was considered real art. So what does that even mean? For me, art is something that provokes thought, that provokes emotions. And don't get me wrong, look at what's on my wall. Well, that's a print, but that's an original. I have original art all over my house. Like I very much respect the work of deeply talented artists that are able to create these things, and I've paid thousands of dollars. I paid The most expensive painting I paid for was like $8,500 or something like that, and now it's worth over 50,000, so I'm pretty cool with that. But like, I have a very deep respect for it, and I think it's worth paying money for. But this idea that digital images aren't real art, I think it's bullshit. I'm sorry. If you can come up with a concept in your head and make that concept a reality and put it out there and provoke thought in people and create something that people love, then that's art. I don't have a Peter Max yet. I do want a Peter Max someday. I don't have a Peter Max yet. I like Peter Max is a little bit for like an original. It's a little bit outside my budget right now. I'm gonna be honest, Brooklyn. Like a little bit. Peter Max is effing expensive, but I genuinely love Peter Max and some of the ideas he comes up with. Some of it's also a little campy for me. All right, but I do love Peter Max, and I think Peter Max is great. Um, anyway, so my position on this is that I think that anytime people are creating something is good. I think AI art is a net positive. I use several different AI art tools right now. One of them is called Midjourney, which is probably one of the most popular AI art tools. And one of the things I like about Midjourney is that as you're creating it, you get to see what other people are creating. You got a Peter Max at an auction for $52? Yo, even if that's just a print, that's you got lucky. Holy hell. Peter Max mixed media sell for thousands of dollars. So, so I think it's a net positive. Now, there are some people who disagree with me. There are some people who feel very strongly that you should not be allowed to create AI art and that AI art is taking away from real, quote unquote, real artists. Well, we're going to listen to one of those people today. And wouldn't you know it? It's an old friend. It's an old, well, friend might be a loose term. It's an old nemesis, if you will. And I just happened to come across this today. Carrie Smith recently did an episode of her show called Why AI Art Sucks. We're going to have some fun today, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? I'm going to listen. And well, yeah, that's exactly right, bot. The Horde will literally hate anything I do. Did you know? Did you know that one of those bitches actually started after they ragged on me for weeks about creating an AI art image of myself? They all now have AI art images. Haha, isn't that funny? Well, they're gonna hate anything I do anyway, so we might as well talk about it. So, for those who don't know, Carrie Smith is a raging cunt that has been smearing me on the internet for like 2.5 years. And I actually, towards the end of last year, wrote a whole book about it. It's at survivingcarriesmith.substack.com. And I occasionally like to check in and see what Carrie's doing and see if Carrie's still smearing me. And I just happened to find that Carrie did a video about why AI art sucks. And I was like, this is great. And I kind of tend to agree with you, Tinge. I think it's funny that more than one person who is in Carrie Smith's woke cancel horde are now on a campaign against AI art. One person is having a crisis roundtable discussion about the dangers of AI art and what it's going to do to creators. And it's like, you guys can try to fight this all you want, but I promise you, you're going to lose the battle that you're waging against AI art. And there are several reasons for this. One, there are about 8,000 different AI art programs. Two, AI art is really fun. Three, a lot of people like it. Four, like, if you don't like it, then don't create it. Then don't interact with it. Five, if you are a better artist legitimately, then your ideas will speak for themselves. Artists take from other artists all the time. All the time. And so okay, so for example, you guys can't see it, but right above this painting in the black frame, I have another painting by this guy Create. Create is my favorite artist, the number 8. And right above this painting, I have another one of his works, and it is so Dali inspired, it's ridiculous. There are like 17 elements of Dali's work in that painting. There's elephants on stilts, there's melting clocks, there's Dali's clouds, there's Dali's mountains. I think there's even trees that I think that's an homage to Dali. And it's like, so it's okay to be inspired by other people's work when you're painting it, but it's not okay when we're talking about digital art. That makes no effing sense. It makes no sense. It is a total rules for thee, but not for thee moment. So we're going to hear them out. I'm going to listen to Carrie and her merry men talk about why they think AI art sucks. We'll consider another idea. And I'm still gonna do my AI art stuff anyway because I don't know, I just like it and I'm having fun with it, and they can have whatever feelings they want about it. Brian says the only issue I have with AI art is the implications when it comes to revenge porn. Well, that I absolutely do agree with Brian. And like all of the AI art tools that I'm using have protections for that. So you're not allowed to create certain things. You're not allowed to create nudity, although people are creating like a lot of stuff where women have like really big boobs, but they're all covered up, but it's weird. They're creating like women with like abnormally large boobs, which, whatever. But like you can't create sexual stuff. You can't create like naked stuff. You can't do any of that. I actually tried to create, like, I put a prompt in for like nudist porcupines, which, like, I mean, porcupines don't wear clothes, but the AI was like, no, no, Carlin, you cannot create nude porcupines. I was like, fine. Thank you for the super chat, Brian. So we're gonna watch this today and we're gonna talk about it. But guys, if you would like to check out my AI art store, you can go to aiart.com. We'll click into it from here. And there's all sorts of fun stuff on there. Now, this red flag laws are transphobic thing. This is a limited edition that's going to leave this week. So you only got a couple more days to get the red flag laws or transphobic design. I've got all sorts of other stuff, lots of porcupine art. I just created this one last night. This is John Stark as a porcupine, live free or die. For death is not the worst of all evils. That's coined from John Stark. It's the New Hampshire state motto. You can find that in the Unwoke art store. We've got Dennis's dog running for president. I just created that this morning just for fun, just for kicks. We got a lot of cool t-shirts and stuff like that. We've got Mitch McConnell on a t-shirt. I think Nick just bought this one recently as an honest politician dressed up as the Grim Reaper. So you can check that out if you are so inclined. Pick up some merch if you want to. All of that supports the work I'm doing. And of course, I really appreciate it. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the Substack. I'm creating new things all the time. Again, I'm really enjoying it. But the other thing I want to talk about, guys, is my normal Substack, my main Substack, Carlin, Karlyn.substack.com. And I just posted a new article today. Well, it's kind of like a reboot of an article because periodically we need to do a little reminder that school choice is not going to fix the public schools. So you can find that on the Substack right now if you want a detailed, broken down explanation for why school choice will not in any way ever in our lifetimes fix the public schools. I explain it to you. I even use pictures. And this is really important to understand, guys. There's a whole infographic, okay, that explains why this is not going to work. And the too long didn't read is that school choice will not fix the public schools because the teaching pool is corrupted before they ever get to the schools. Every school is hiring out of the same teacher pool. Those teachers are coming out of the colleges of education for the most part, and you cannot fix that within this lifetime. It will take at least, and this is a bare minimum, 2 generations to fix the teaching pool. I'm an organizational psychologist. I know how to fix staffing problems. This is not a fixable problem based on what's happened. So I break down why and I explain it. Now, that's not to say that I think school choice is bad. I don't think that school choice is bad. There are benefits to it. I also talk about that in the article. You can find that on the Substack right now. While you're there, I also hope you'll check out this piece. This is a roadmap piece that I created last week to let you know what I've done so far this year with your support and your help and what I'm planning on doing. So I do have big plans for the back half of the year. I'm being extremely transparent about those plans, so that you can decide whether or not you agree with them. But at least you know that if you subscribe to my Substack as a paid subscriber, $5 a month, $50 a year, if you join my locals, if you buy merch out of my store, if you do anything that gives me money in any way, you know where that money is going. Bonnie Bell says create new colleges to teach teachers. Well, how many years does that take, Bonnie? Like how is that? Do you guys remember a couple years ago they were what they launched the University of Austin? This it was supposed to be this innovative new university run by these great liberal thinkers and it wasn't going to be woke at all. That college has literally never gotten off the ground because it is damn near impossible to create a new college. But let's just say you did. Let's say you got the land for a new college. Let's say you got all the buildings. Let's say you got the support to do it, the hundreds of millions of dollars that it requires to create a new college. Who are you going to hire as professors? Who are you actually going to hire to teach the teachers? Because the only people available are completely indoctrinated into the ideology. Because not only is the entire teaching pool corrupted, the entire pool of education professors are also corrupted. So, nope, that's not going to work in any way. I understand why you suggested it, but people are having really unrealistic expectations about what's going to be required to fix the schools, and I really think that they need to get hinged very far back into reality. Anyway, so in this piece, um, okay, how many teachers can you bring over from South Korea that want to come teach in the United States? Can you replace 90% of the teaching pool? Guys, I promise you, I have thought about this issue extensively. There is absolutely nothing that you can say that will prove me wrong on this. There's nothing. I have vetted this idea extensively. You are not going to be able to replace 90% of the teachers in the United States with teachers from South Korea. That is not a reasonable solution. Okay, so how are you going to do that? Because then you're going to encounter these state boards of education who are not going to license teachers unless they go through the required education programs and take the required tests and do the required training. See, you guys can keep trying all you want. You are not going to debunk this. Do you think no one's thought of that? Honestly, I'm not trying to be a bitch, but you guys got to listen when people tell you things. I mean, like, that's not going to work. Right now, even if you talk about private schools who don't need to hire licensed teachers, they're doing it anyway. They're not. Can you name me one private school that's hiring teachers that are not licensed through the traditional education system? Thank you. Thank you. So, in this article, I lay out a plan for what I want to do to expose what is going. Okay, we are all going to stop arguing now because I am not going to spend all day debunking the ideas that you guys have about how to fix the education system. If you have ideas, here's what I need you to do. First off, I need you to go and read this article. I need you to read the whole thing. I need you to consider the ideas in the article. Then I need you to leave a comment on the article explaining specifically what you think is wrong. And if you're not willing to do that, I am no longer willing to entertain these ideas because that's not what this stream is even about. So we can keep talking about this if you want, and I will keep debunking every single idea that you offer because I've thought about this extensively over the course of 2 years. Or we can move on to what the actual topic of the stream is. Which would you like? Can we just get rid of the entire Department of Education? How? How are we doing that? How are we doing that? How are we doing that? That's not realistic. Actually, my charter high school had a graduate school of education attached with the ability to credential your own teachers. Okay, was that approved by the state board of education? Was that connected to the state board of education in any way? What were the teachers in your charter school? Did they come out of the colleges of education? I guarantee you the answer to at least one of those questions is yes. So again, we can keep arguing if you want to, but what I would prefer you do is to go and read the content that I've created that explicitly lays this out, that not a single one of you has debunked yet, and go and comment on that. Can we agree to that? I can use my teacher waiting as well. Ah, there we go. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. All right. So before we get into that, I do want to mention that I did post this article on Friday about what the plan is, how I would like to move forward. Now, I'm having a little bit of a challenge. And if there's frustration coming through in my voice, this might be why. So, in the last month, I'm going to lay it out. In the last month, I have made more money selling AI art out of my store than I have on this entire Substack. Now, I'm very grateful for that. The AI art store is doing well. That's a blessing, okay? That's a really good thing. I'm really excited about it. However, I think the content that I'm doing on this Substack, carlin.substack.com, is actually much more useful and much more powerful. The problem is that people are not becoming paid subscribers on the Substack. They are well, I shouldn't say that. There are absolutely plenty of paid subscribers on the Substack, and I'm really, really grateful for people who have become paid subscribers on the Substack. However, I am very much behind where I need to be in order to continue to spend as much time on this Substack as I'm spending. I have very explicit goals for how many paid subscribers I need to make this into a sustainable endeavor. Well, no, I really shouldn't because I get shitty results and they don't listen and it costs more money. So, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. But I'm not breaking even on this essentially. Now, don't get me wrong. Things are fine, but I'm starting to really evaluate how much time and energy I'm putting into this Substack compared to what people are willing to support. Now, I have a whole list of things I want to do in this. I want to create the largest directory on the internet of equity and gender ideology activism. It's not a pathetic excuse when it is cheaper and faster to do what I want and to get the result I want in a different way. So you can argue with me, but you're not going to win this argument. It's going to be one of those days. I'm telling you, it's going to be one of those days. So here's the deal. I want to create the largest online archive of equity and gender documentation in the public schools on the internet. I want to create an activist organization directory that anyone can log on to and find out who the activist organizations are in their school district and what they're doing and how they can show up. I want to continue to publish podcast after podcast after podcast teaching the woke ideology. I want to launch a Woke 101 series to really break down in as simple English as possible what this ideology is so that more people can teach it. I want to do a whole training series where I'm bringing activists onto the channel and onto the platform to train people about how to fight back against the woke left. I have a lot of things I want to do. The problem is, in the last month or so, I have not seen the support required to be able to do those things. And so, here is my question. And I want to direct you guys on the Substack to the chat feature. So you can go to this chat feature and then you go down here and you click open on web. And I'm going to put this link into the chat because I have posted in the chat right before this a question. Why aren't people paying to support my work in the way that I need them to? I have between 5 and 10,000 people a day reading my Substack. That's the truth. I have thousands of people a day reading my Substack for free. A minuscule percent of those are paying to support it. A minuscule percent of those people are paying to access it. So, here are my questions. Are those 5 to 10,000 people a day, are they just hate reading my content? Are they reading my content to steal my ideas and pass it off as their own, which happens all the time? Just last week, something went really viral on Twitter that I covered 3 weeks ago and was the only person to cover it. And then 3 weeks later, someone came to my Substack, stole my work, didn't credit it, went viral on Twitter, and, it happens. It happens all the time. So the challenge I'm facing is, am I going to continue to make my work freely available if people are not going to support it? Or, and they're just going to come and steal my ideas and steal my content and pass them off as their own? Or am I going to privatize everything and only talk to the people who are paying me to access that content? That's the question I'm grappling with right now. Because if I can literally just spend all my time creating AI art and selling AI art and make more money doing that than I can off of my main Substack, where I think I'm doing way more valuable stuff, then why wouldn't I just spend all my time doing AI art? Why am I killing myself personally to have my ideas stolen? Why am I working until 2, 3 a.m. every single night to have my work stolen? Why, like, and people aren't willing to pay for it? So, what I would really like is to hear people's feedback. Because if something doesn't change soon, what's going to happen is I'm going to put up a paywall, and no one who is not paying me money is going to be able to access my work. And that's just going to be the way it is. And it's not going to be 50-50 like what James is doing. James is in a much different position than I am. It is going to be, everything is going to be behind a paywall. And if you want access to it, you can damn well pay for it, because I can't keep going in this way. So I have a thread open in my chat on Substack, and I'm asking for some feedback. And again, I'm going to put that thread in the chat. And I would really appreciate during the stream if people would take some time to go give me some feedback on this. And so what I want to hear is this. Number one, do you think the work I'm doing is valuable? If not, you have to tell me that so I can stop doing it and I can go focus on something else. Number two, do you think that the plan that I offered on Friday for moving forward is a good idea? If you don't think it's a good idea and you don't think it's valuable, then tell me that and I just won't do it. And other people can do the work that I'm doing. And that's just fine. Number three, if you value the work I'm doing, are you willing to support it by becoming a paid subscriber, either through the Substack or on another site? Number four, if you cannot financially support it, are you willing to share every single thing that I put out there with your platforms? Or maybe not everything, but like, the good stuff. And I put out a lot of good stuff on that Substack. And number five, if you are currently not willing to support the work I'm doing it, but you're reading it anyway, then what do you want me to be doing? Because I don't know what to say anymore. The rubber's about to meet the road. I don't want it to be this way. I don't want to put up a paywall. I greatly value the people who are subscribing to my work and are supporting it, because I quite literally could not do this without them. But I can't implement that plan that I put out there on Friday without more people supporting it. I just can't. It's not reasonable, guys. It's not reasonable. Like, it is a really ambitious plan that's going to take up all of my time. And if I can make more money selling t-shirts, then I'm going to go sell t-shirts because it's more fun. And then you just won't get all this stuff because no one else on the internet is doing what I'm doing. I'm sorry. They just aren't. So you guys have to decide what you want. But if I don't get more paid supporters, then I'm going to put up a paywall and I'm going to substantially crank down the amount of content I'm creating on the Substack because, quite frankly, it takes a lot of effing time to do this. And that's just going to be the way it is. So you guys are in control. You let me know. I would love to hear it. But for right now, we are going to move finally into watching this episode of Carrie's show to see why Carrie has such a thing in her craw about AI art. And maybe she'll make a good argument, and maybe she won't. So let's see, guys. I think there might be a little bit of an intro to this show. I don't think Carrie goes right into it right away. So let's find what happened. Hang on. There's a call to action on quite literally every single thing that I write. And you're so great, Brooklyn. You are amazing. You are so great. You share everything. I'm so appreciative of you. You're amazing. There is literally a call to action on everything I write. Oh, you did send me a super chat, bot. I appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry, I missed it. Bot says, support the glorious cult leader. We need her. And you do, bot. And again, I really don't want to shit on the people who are supporting my work because I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. I'm just at a loss where I think I'm putting out stuff that is valuable. I think it's really valuable. But if the general public doesn't feel like it's valuable, then I don't have to do it. Or they can get someone else to do it. And they can hope and pray that those people put up the same quality of work that I'm putting up. I don't think that they would, because if they were already, but yeah. So let's find where AI art in this video.
So Marlon Brando.
That's not AI art. That's Marlon Brando. Oh, here it is, I think.
See as well, written in the past few months, even though it's kind of been around for years. But this is something that I've really been getting interested in, and it sounds like you've been getting interested in as well. Is that true?
Yes. You and I have been talking about doing this for a while. I think we maybe have some similar opinions on it. I don't know. Maybe we differ in some ways. But
there
it's just exploded in the past few months. Everybody I know.
Carrie hates that I have an AI art picture on Twitter. Carrie was like, the only reason Carlin has an AI art picture on Twitter is because Carlin is ugly and she needs AI art to make her look good. She hates that I did that.
Online, at least, on the social media platforms, they were all creating these AI images of themselves and profile pics and stuff like that. And lots of them too, not just one. It was sort of this, people got really into it, here's 100 different AI images of me, and now I've seen other, not just, AI art of people, selfie kind of stuff, but people creating different types of art, and even in some cases trying to sell this art. I put that in quotes because I don't think it's art.
Yes, selling it. Oh my god, they're making money off of creations. This, I promise you, I fucking promise you that this was in response to me creating an AI art store. I promise you, this was 2 weeks ago. I created that AI art store over a month and a half ago, something like that. How dare Carlin sell her AI art? It's not even art.
So why have you been thinking about it?
Well, the concept of AI fascinates me, but particularly as it relates to art. When I look at it, there's a lot of interesting things, a lot of neat things I think about it, but there's also a lot of worrisome things about it, because we live in a day and age of, I don't want to borrow the term from mainstream media, misinformation. because you know what kind
It
of
is Carlin
misinformation
derangement
they
syndrome.
label
It
that
is.
as. But
Everything
we
I
do
do
live
is bad.
in a day and age
Everything
where
I
people
do is
don't know
awful. Oh
what's
my
true when it comes to a
god.
written word, where so many things out there, people on both sides of the political aisle don't know what's true. And I think with AI art, this introduces just another area in which people are going to not know what is true, because a lot of the art, and I'm not just talking about the painting looking type art, I'm talking about, screenshots, like they look like actual photographs or shots from movies, like, and we'll play some videos later of fans making screenshots of movies that never exist. But this is something that I think is there's going to be some bad things, because I think obviously with the ways governments and the ways people act and behave online, they can use this for nefarious purposes to set people up to portray people doing things or saying something, in the case of AI audio.
Mhm.
And that's worrisome. But I do think one positive thing, maybe, and this is a maybe, but perhaps that as we start to go into this world of not knowing what is true, perhaps that will make more and more people stop being so reactive.
Again, I have to ask, what is the difference between an artist painting something that is literally out of a painting that another artist did, and an AI taking inspiration from copyrighted material that was scraped off the internet? Because it's not like it's just serving you the copyrighted material. That's not what it is. It's to teach the AI about different elements of art. The AI is not, if I type Salvador Dali painting into an AI art, it's not going to give me a real Salvador Dali painting. That's not the way it works. Now, it's going to give me something Salvador Dali inspired, but guess what? I have something Salvador Dali inspired painted by a quote unquote real artist that charges hundreds of thousands of dollars for his work. I have a print of it. I didn't pay that much, but like, I have it hanging right above that black picture right behind me. So what's the difference? There is no difference. It's just all semantics. I'm sorry.
Reactionary towards information that they receive, because so many people hear something, see something, immediately flock to Twitter or social media
Yeah.
and just bitch about it, complain, just assume they know everything about it. But if you live in a world where you don't know what is true, then perhaps some people would slow down and say, well, I don't know if this is actually true, instead of getting up on their high horse and proclaiming that this is true and blah blah
Oh,
blah.
Carrie has
So some people,
proclaimed so many
some people don't
falsehoods
care the
about me.
truth.
I
But
don't really believe
I
there's
think
much
maybe
truth
there is
at
a
all, please.
possibility that that will occur as time goes on. We'll
She
see.
does look dead
But
inside. It's true.
that's negative. Positive outside of that is uh, for a lot of the art that I've been looking at, particularly like concept art, there's amazing things that these programs can come up with, and I see that as a way of generating ideas and things for movies. If I was someone who was producing a movie, it would be very easy for me to use one of these programs to kind of generate storyboards or images if I'm trying to sell my idea to somebody or trying to get funding. It'd be kind of a shortcut. And I think there are
That's very
some
true.
interesting benefits, and there are a lot of cool things that it can do. But like I said, there is that worrisome aspect to it about people not knowing what's true.
Yes, I agree with you. There are going to be, first of all, is in this age of, we're at war with reality. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the way my pastor, Bradley Helgerson, describes the culture war, the spiritual war, whatever you want to call it. And I
Wait,
think
wait. Carrie doesn't like AI art because we're at war with reality. Carrie, art is not supposed to be reality. Like, that's not what it is. No, I would rather watch this, thank you.
he really gets down to the what's at the essential heart of it. Is it's not a war, this battle with woke ideology that we're in the middle of. It's not a war with between right and left. It is a war between authoritarianism and individualism, but it's more than that. if you really get down to the heart of it, I think it's a spiritual war, and I think that spiritual war is that fundamentally our culture, humans, we're currently at a battle over like what is truth, what is real, what's reality. And
Carrie, you care about
this,
the truth
you
less
know,
than like any
chatbot, the
single
AI
person
generated
on the
scripts,
planet.
AI generated songs, music, art, all of this. I think we're going to get to a place very quickly. We're already there in some ways where people can do deep fakes and completely alter our perception of reality more than it's already warped by propaganda, right? So that's one part of it.
Art is supposed to alter our perception of reality. That is the entire point of art. It is supposed to alter our perception of reality. It is not supposed to present reality unless that is the specific stated goal of like presenting a portrait. But then you also have people like oh gosh, who was it? Rembrandt, I think. Rembrandt, one of the most famous portrait artists in history. When he was painting a portrait of someone, he would infuse into the portrait who that person was on the inside. So if he thought that the subject he was painting was an ugly person on the inside, that portrait was going to be ugly. If he thought that the person he was painting was a beautiful person on the inside, that portrait was going to be lovely. That was how Rembrandt worked. So don't tell me that art is just a reflection of reality. It's not. It is subjective. That is the entire effing point.
The other part of it is, I think it's, well, we can get into my biggest issue with it in a second. I did want to
My
bring
biggest
up a
issue is
couple
that
of
Carlin opened an
comments from
AI
the
art
chat.
store.
Kevin Anderson, hello Kevin again. He says, as someone with no artistic talent, I like the ability to make a picture of what I have in my mind.
Exactly.
And yes, it's useful in that way. There are positives to it, and I encourage you guys in the chat, if you disagree with me or Mr. Chris, like always, just let us know. I love to
I'll
hear
let you
differing
know.
perspectives. I do think that's a positive, to be able to, without that artistic talent, like you mentioned, Chris, to say, if you're pitching a series concept, for example, you can do storyboards very easily. Even if you have no artistic talent and you don't have the budget to hire an artist, you could go in there and kind of show them, this is what's in my head, right? That is a positive. I just am of the opinion that the negatives outweigh the positives. Change my mind.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
because you
then
have a
Adam
soul,
Worrell on the
Carrie.
other side of the fence says AI and creativity, oxymoron. Like, that's kind of where I'm at, Adam.
Well, that's the interesting thing too, because I think there's a
The AI is not the creative element. The person creating the prompt for the AI is the creative element. No, I don't hate that art at all. I don't hate any type of art. I think there are some types of art that I prefer over other types of art, but that's like it's a subjective thing. I don't think that the banana taped to the wall is necessarily bad, but don't tell me that's real art and AI art is not real art. That's the problem I have. When people say only this specific type of thing is art, no. Found objects have been art for a really long effing time. This is not new.
debate over not only the ethics of it, but
Yeah, exactly.
what
You have to
is
have the creative
creativity of
hang on.
stuff.
This is what I was actually saying. In order to create AI art, you have to have the idea. You have to have the concept. The AI is not just willy-nilly creating on its own. You have to put in a prompt. And let me tell you what, some of the prompts are really effing complicated. And some of the prompts you have to play with. I have spent hours and hours and hours playing around to make sure that I got the image that was in my head created via the computer. So the AI is not the thing that's creative. The person putting the prompt in is the thing that's creative. It's coming from the person. They're just using it as a tool.
Because like, the way AI works is that it's basically drawing from a database of images, and it's just using that to generate these
No, it's not.
newer images. And so a lot of people are saying that this is
That's not how it
unethical
works.
because they're taking, particularly ones that are taking images that aren't licensed or the copyright owner hasn't given permission, and they're making images out of this. But
Oh,
one can make
Jesus
the argument
Christ.
that we as
Andrew, thank you for the large super chat, my friend. I do appreciate it. Though I don't care about their AI art gatekeeperism and their morose and bitter arguments, your work to bring light to several situations and how to fundamentally challenge the woke agenda has been instrumental in waking people up. Thank you, Andrew. I really do appreciate it. And guys, I'm already seeing comments show up on that chat thing, like people saying you support my work. If you are already a supporter of my work, I'm not asking you to do anything else. I really want to make that clear. Like, if you want to, I'm not going to say no, but like, I know who are supporters of my work and who are not supporters of my work. And I guess my ask is out to the people who have decided to take my work and either steal it and claim it as their own, or just utilize it for free and not feel the need to support it. Like, my ask is more out to them of like, what exactly do you want from me, man? But Andrew, you are a wonderful supporter. You're a valued member of the community. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much for the super chat. Nova fan, I remember you saying before you plan on releasing psychology lessons and how to predict elections, which of your Substack should I subscribe to? I actually did. I did a whole stream on that. I did a whole stream on that specifically, like several months ago. Now I have several Substacks. The main Substack is Carlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. So you can subscribe to that one, but really whichever ones you want. I don't have paid subscriptions on all of them. I have paid subscriptions on some of them. So whichever one you want to, but if you want to support my Unwoke work, that would be like the place to subscribe. It's my main one. I don't have a plan right now to do a full on training program for how to use psychology to predict elections, but I do have psychology workshops online, and I can direct you to those. You can actually find them on activelyunwoke.com if you would like to. And thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it.
humans are doing things similar. If you're an artist, if you're a musician, you're taking a lot of input in terms of influences, and that's influencing the way that you produce whatever piece of art you work. And so people might hear influences in your work, maybe they don't, but we've all been influenced by whatever medium we're working in, by people working in that medium. And so it's kind of similar to humanity in that way. And so I think the AI art really challenges the definition of art, even the definition I have for art, 'cause
Why?
that's something I still struggle with, because in our art episode we did a couple months ago, the definition I was working with was that art was a work that was.
Is a print art? This one right here, the one with the guy with the head, with the all colorful head, that's a print. No one painted that. Do you know what they needed to do to make a print? They needed to make a digital copy of it. Is it art? This one, that's an original Romero Brito, but there are several different versions of it. I have a unique version. There are other people with very, very similar versions of it, but they're all slightly different. Is that art? I know you can't really see it. Is that art? Is a banana duct taped to a wall art? Because that's sold for millions of dollars, so someone considered that art. Is an NFT art? NFTs, not all NFTs, but some NFTs are going for hundreds or thousands of dollars. It's just a digital image. Is that art? And why does anyone get to define what art is for anyone else? I saw people in the chat saying, like, I don't think like concept art, like the banana or the toilet, I don't think that's real art. You don't have to like it. But why do you get to define for other people what that is? It may have been fucking stupid, but it made millions of dollars. So someone valued it. Someone thought it was a good idea.
Beautiful and a work that reflected some aspect of the human experience. Now, people.
So hang on. So Chris's definition is that art is something that is beautiful. Not all art is beautiful, and that reflects an aspect of the human experience. Okay, fine. Why doesn't AI art do that? There's some really beautiful AI art. Really, really beautiful. And there's a lot of AI art that do reflect aspects of the human experience. So why doesn't that count? And I know you don't define art for others, Sin. You just have preferences, which is, that means you're a human. Exactly. Andy Warhol challenges what in art with soup cans. Love him or hate him. Like that was a concept that changed how people saw art. Absolutely.
The topic of AI art comes up, many people say, well, it's not human, therefore it can't capture the human experience
Wrong.
properly. And I would
A
want to agree
human
with that,
writes the
but if
prompt.
AI art is getting to a level to which you or I or most people aren't able to tell if it's produced by a program or if it's produced by a human, but yet it still is beautiful and it still captures some aspect of the human condition, then should it be considered art? Or do we have a new category in which we put it where we
I
start
think
factoring in the human aspect? Even if it looks like it was produced by a human, we still put it in.
Again, they are completely ignoring the fact that the AI is not just spitting out art willy-nilly. The AI is given a prompt written by a human being to say, this is the image I have in my head. Can you give me some different ideas around this image? And then the human being has to work with the AI to refine that image. And then there may be additional editing on top of that. What the AI does is it provides you a foundation with which to work on that is much faster, much more efficient, much less costly than it is to create it on your own. That's all it is.
In a separate category, and therefore people pay a lot more attention to the process, and people are trying to find ways in which to authenticate art to see if a human actually produces that. Because part of art, I understand, part of the love of art is knowing that a human has such high skill level that they're able to produce
yes.
what we think about like the Sistine Chapel or something like that. And so that's just I'm multiple minds of the subject.
So you're talking about skill level. Have you ever tried writing one of these effing prompts? Like some of the prompts that I see in Midjourney anyway, you can't see the other ones, but in Midjourney you can see what other people are doing. Some of those prompts are like excessively long and excessively detailed. And you have to learn exactly how the AI works. You have to learn how to craft the prompt so that the AI gives you what you want. That's not a lack of talent. That's not a lack of time. I have had to read more manuals on how to create AI art than I had to read when I learned how to paint. It actually took more effort for me to learn how to create AI than it did to paint a picture, Let's see, we got a super chat here from Murphy's Pool. The picture of dogs playing poker is the only non-AI art worth looking at. Well, my first AI art ever was actually porcupines playing poker, so I think that that's kind of funny, Murphy's Pool. And Kino, when he saw my porcupines playing poker, that I posted on Twitter, he said, "Carlin, if you put that on a poster, I'll buy it." And so I did. And that was actually how my store was born. See, I don't think the copyright thing is as a big a deal as other people do because quite frankly, like if you are so like if you're stealing someone else's AI art instead of just learning how to do it your damn self, that's really sad and pathetic. But it's also like I don't think the copyright is the thing that's going to prevent people from stealing it. I could be wrong about that, but
Two minds of the subject. I don't know.
Yes, I eventually do want to get to some of these links you sent me, but we just jumped into the discussion, so I'm gonna go there now before we read
I'm
some of
already
this.
having so many feelings about this.
That's what, so we talked about the truth factor, the war with reality, and how do we know what's real when AI can generate deep fakes of people and things they've said and screenshots
Harry,
and
you don't
photos
care
and videos
about
and all
what's
this stuff
real.
that looks real.
You've demonstrated that on multiple
But
occasions.
the biggest thing, the visceral reaction that I have to it is, I think, because I don't view it as art. I think
That's
art
because
is
you have
something that
no
humans
heart,
make,
Harry, and you have no soul. And you don't
And
understand what you're
I think it's a
talking about.
uniquely human creation. And I
Carrie is the
believe,
gatekeeper.
now you're going to put me to the test later because we're going to play a game, and you guys in the chat, you can play along with us. Mystery Chris and I are going to do a couple of quizzes to see if we can tell the difference between art that's produced by a human and art that's produced by AI. And maybe
What do you mean produced
I'll
by a
be
human?
embarrassed because
What do you mean produced by a human? Because digital art has been a thing for a really long time. People use Photoshop, Illustrator to create digital art. Is that created by the AI and say, I want this image specifically and have it spit out an image out specifically? That's not how it works at all. In fact, there are safeguards in place in the AI so that it specifically can't do that.
I'm not so great at telling the difference, but I think I can tell the difference because when I look at a lot of this AI art, just in my gut, it feels like it's missing the spark of humanity. It's missing the joy of a human creator. It's missing the creativity of a human, the talent of a human. And I feel that way about a lot of music these
Then
days,
don't
as which
buy it.
you and I have talked about
Then
music a
don't
lot,
support
and
it.
how modern music is getting to the point where it's so, um, heavily edited with software and manipulated and auto-tuned and, created by algorithm and stuff that there's something missing there that I just don't feel that same connection to it that I feel to something like the example I give a lot, which is, um, oh, I'm blanking on his name. La Bamba. Who sang La Bamba?
Richie Valley.
Richie Valens. Richie Valens. Okay, if you listen to one of his songs, right? It's
Seriously?
my husband and I have talked about this. It's recorded live with the whole band there, and there are mistakes on the final cut. There are the natural
There are
human
mistakes in
error,
AI too,
and that's
Carrie.
part of the beauty. It's not auto-tuned. It's not, they don't bring in, hey, violin, you come in and record your part. Hey, drums, you come in and record your part. Bass, you come in and record yours. Trumpet, you record your, and then we'll put it all together at the end. No, they're all together playing the song in real time. That's art. That's talent, in my opinion. So I feel that same way about, like, the way that I feel about the music and the problem with a lot of modern music. That's kind of how I'm viewing this AI art as I look at it, and I'm like, there's something dead about it, in my opinion. And that's just a
The problem is I
visceral,
also do far more work than
emotional,
Carrie, which means I have less
gut
time in the
reaction
day
to
than
it. So
Carrie to flit
Well,
about.
well, that kind of reminds me of a lot of AI audio. I don't know how much you've listened to AI audio, and I put one clip in there. Maybe we can listen to it later. It's kind of a dark clip, but a lot of AI audio, like when they take clips of someone speaking, like I know people have done it with Jordan Peterson and Arnold Schwarzenegger and people like that. So that they basically just take audio of these people talking, and then the AI is able just to use words and put them together as a new sentence. But the way it does it, it typically can't copy the cadence that the person uses to talk with, and it
not
doesn't
yet.
copy the emotions that
Like, does Carrie think that most things that are put on t-shirts nowadays, does Carrie think that those things are things that people paint by hand? Like, have you ever, like, go into a store at the mall and look at the t-shirt section, and I promise you, Carrie, that all of those t-shirts have been made using some sort of digital apparatus where something was taken and manipulated by a human being in Photoshop, in Illustrator, maybe even in Canva, and then they created something and they slapped it on a t-shirt or a sticker. That thing has never been non-digital until it got printed on a t-shirt, and that's what's sold in the mall. So don't tell me that you can't sell this stuff. Come on. It is sold quite literally every single effing day in your average department store. Yeah, they're using screen, like, they use the screen presses or digital software. Exactly.
people can put on certain words. And so, like, I know you probably didn't see the last Star Wars series,
No, I'm
Obi-Wan. But in Obi-Wan, they used a AI version of James Earl Jones' voice, because James Earl Jones is really old, and a lot of people could tell that it wasn't quite him because there was something missing. There was certain
It's like
emphasis that, because he has a very theatrical, delivery, because he, grew up in the theater, acting on stage, and so that was missing from a lot of what the dialogue regarding Darth Vader was in the Obi-Wan series, and people could tell. And so perhaps, I guess, some A art, I think I would agree with you on some A art. I would say, yeah, you can definitely tell. But I've seen other ones that I wouldn't be able to tell that.
really.
Yeah.
Okay, this game we're gonna play at the end is maybe gonna,
Okay, we're gonna have to make
you
sure we
know,
watch the game
pull the
because
carpet out from
I
under
can't
me.
watch
They're
this full
like, hey,
stream,
you
but
thought you could tell. It's a visceral reaction, Carrie. You have a gut reaction, you can tell. And then it's gonna be like, I was fooled by the robot. So we'll see.
now I know this came from
Okay, well,
me.
let's bring up this first link that you sent me. AI art versus human art. What AI reveals about creativity.
And yeah, it's probably the best part, maybe the first and second paragraphs. It's a very long article. It's a good article. I recommend people read if they're interested in more. Formlight2art.com. Don't know what that is, but but if you scroll down to what's the difference between AI generated art and human made art, that paragraph and the one below is interesting because it briefly
Okay.
talks about AI art, but it also brings up um, aspects of human creativity and kind of compares that to AI processes.
Well, let's look at this. They've got some examples here. So AI art refers to images and works of art created using artificial intelligence, using the vast data sets of information and art created over human history. AI analysis these compositions. Oh, AI analyzes, they misspelled that. These compositions and reinterprets new works based on set rules and prompts given by a user. The processing capabilities, ability to generate variations, and complexity of image detail make AI art generation a compelling and powerful tool for anyone interested in visualizing their most fantastic ideas. Here's an example of AI art in 4 variations created with this AI generator, Midjourney. There's a bunch of these AI generators now.
Mm-hmm.
Using the prompt. So what you do is you put
Hundreds
in
of
words
these
like this:
AI art generators.
human, smell,
Hundreds.
dog, whistle. And then this is what came out. You can see
That's
these
okay.
dogs with whistles.
You can create prompts that are that simple, but let me tell you what. You can also create prompts that are much more complex than that. And when you create more complex prompts, you're going to get more complex images.
And
Like those aren't good. Those are just not
that
good.
one, yeah, I don't know. It bothers me how
That the dogs are smoking. That's
the
just like it should.
dogs no, just how, again, how on the one hand good it is at mimicking human art,
Yeah, it's
but
a
then
creepy,
it
but yeah,
also, it's like uncanny valley. I feel like there's
yeah.
something missing here, and I can tell it's AI art,
That's
Hmm.
because the prompt
that a
Hmm.
human
sucked.
didn't do this. I don't know.
Are you sure? Because
I think I
it's
can.
AI art, so you're looking at it within your mind, like, oh, this was created by
Yeah.
AI art
It's
because the
because
article
the
told you
prompt
so. But if you
sucked,
saw this
Carrie.
separate without any description, would you go, oh, that looks like it was generated by an algorithm?
Yes, a dirty robot did this. We'll see. We're gonna test each other later. Okay. What's the difference between AI generated art and human made art? AI generated art is created using artificial intelligence algorithms, while human made art is created by human artists. AI art can be produced quickly and in large.
If there is no human to create a prompt to put it into the AI, there would be nothing that the AI could do. Denying that there is a human involved in the creation of the idea that becomes the AI is just disingenuous and stupid.
large quantities, and it can be highly detailed and complex. However, it may lack the emotional and personal touch that human made art often has. Human-made art
Do you know you can literally put emotions into the AI? You can say, I want this to be happy, or I want this to be profound, or I want this to be cynical, or I want this to be, etc., etc., etc. The AI will process what that means and spit it back to you, and then you can modify. No, that's not quite what I was thinking. You can do this, you can do that.
can be more expressive and convey the artist's unique perspective, but it may be less precise and take longer to produce. Yes, of course. Both types of art have their own unique characteristics and can be enjoyed for different reasons. So, just quickly, this made me think of one other comment I saw in the chat. Bungalow Logic, hey Bungalow, says there are vanishingly fewer gigs for commercial artists as it is, just one more talent becoming mundane and obsolete.
Well,
There are artists who sell their work for hundreds of thousands of dollars. There is absolutely a market for real, quote unquote, real artists that exists today. If you want to work hard and develop your craft and develop an audience, but if you don't want to do that and you just want it, like, yes, will AI art probably replace graphic designers? Yeah, probably will. It probably will. It can't just yet because AI sucks at words. AI does not do words well at all. So you're always going to need to have like a human intervention with it. But to say that it is going to eliminate the possibility of cultivating human artists is just profoundly untrue. If you have good ideas and you have talent, you will always be able to find a market. I will, with no problem at all, pay thousands of dollars for something that is hand painted or hand drawn by an artist that I really like. I have absolutely no issue with this at all. And there are people that will pay a lot more money. I've seen like I've seen original artwork go at auction for hundreds of thousands of dollars that was created by someone putting years of experience into it, refining every detail, having those imperfections. There will always be a market for that. This will never eliminate it.
I have an article.
And anyone who says that this is going to completely dry up the market for quote unquote real artists has no idea what they're effing talking about. That makes no sense. Now, it might dry up the market for lazy graphic designers who don't want to really work on their craft and don't have good ideas, but isn't that survival of the fittest? I mean, I'd have to take a look at it, Lizard, but I don't know why I wouldn't. I love supporting artists. Like, why wouldn't I buy your art? If I like it and I appreciate it, you might create art that I don't like, and then I'm probably not going to buy it, but why not?
Article I want to bring up next, where some concept artists actually give their views on it, because just like you said, there's a lot of artists that are concerned about being replaced.
And they're
with
probably not that
automation. That's
talented to
really
begin
affecting
with.
a lot of industries, and I think
Why
some of them,
not?
definitely have that right to be concerned about it.
Yes, they will be replaced. And music too. How does AI art challenge traditional notions of creativity? Okay, generative capabilities. AI art is often created using generative algorithms that can produce an almost infinite number of variations, allowing for a level of creativity that goes beyond human capabilities. Human versus machine authorship. The role of the human artist in the creative process is called into question as AI algorithms can create art autonomously or with minimal human input. Originality. AI art can create new forms, styles, and aesthetics that are not possible with human creativity alone.
Well, some
Conceptual
of those
AI
people are
art can
selling their
also
work for millions of
explore and
dollars. So
raise
what does that say
questions
about
about the
you?
relationship between humans, machines, and creativity
Guys,
itself.
let me make something really clear. People, the things that people create only have the value that others are willing to spend on them. If someone is quite literally willing to spend millions of dollars for a banana duct taped to a wall, then that concept has millions of dollars. And why didn't you think of it first? If people are willing to pay for your stuff, then it has value. If people are not willing to pay for your stuff, it does not have value.
So, well, that's what we're here to talk about. It does raise a lot of questions. And then interaction, some AI art pieces are
You
interactive
wouldn't,
and change based on the viewer's
unless you needed
input.
that artist
This
to
can make the
modify
art
it.
piece more dynamic and create a unique experience for
So
each
maybe you
viewer.
need to develop other
And
skills.
one
I
of the
don't
other
know.
interesting things too about AI art, 'cause especially like the art that I've been looking at, the conceptual art, is the ability
Hang
for
on, I got a super chat coming in from Kino. This is the exact same argument that painters had against photographers that then evolved into if you are a photographer, if you were using a smartphone or DSLR. This is Kino, I think this is a wonderful point. I'm sure that when the camera was invented, a lot of painters were like, oh, we're effed because now you can just take a picture. And then once everyone had a camera in their phone, and by the way, I've had digital cameras since before they were even that high quality. Like, once you got a really high quality camera in your phone, then you're like, oh, F, I don't even need to go out and buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment to create a really great image. And oh, F, there's free photo editing software on the computer. This has always been an issue. Thank you, Julie. Julie says, I've been a silent observer for a while now, but I wanted to speak up and finally say I subscribed for a year. Keep up the good work, Carlin. Thank you, Julie. I really do appreciate the support.
to generate multiple variations of the same idea is pretty incredible, because I think a lot of us, humans, do struggle with making tons of variations related to the same idea. And that's why a lot of times there will be multiple artists working,
Real
say, like
artists
on a
don't actually
movie or
struggle with
something,
that.
pitching different ideas of
Real artists
how
will
the
paint the
next,
same concept
Star
over and over
Wars,
and over again in different
vehicle is
ways
going
with
to look
different
like, whatever.
variations.
And it's just amazing what AI can do, art can do, especially the way it generates it and how
I should
quickly
say
it
human
generates
artists.
it, because it's very good at mimicking not light and color, tone, doing all these things in seconds or minutes. It's kind of
So cool.
scary.
You're
But
an
yeah, that was
art.
all I wanted to read from this
You're
article.
an artist, Mr. Chris. I don't know
Yeah.
how many people in our audience know that. You are an exceptionally talented artist, in my opinion. I've seen your art.
Well, thank you.
You have a vision and you're able to create what it is that you see in your head. You're someone who's very talented, but also a hard worker. And so, as an artist, like, how
Well, then
does
he
it make
shouldn't
you
be
feel
intimidated at
to look
all.
at some of this
If
stuff
he
and how
really has
quickly
talent,
it
he
can be
shouldn't be
done? The stuff
intimidated. Who
that would take
cares?
you a long time to complete.
It's inspiring, but it's also depressing in a way, because the hard work that goes into it, especially when I do my renders and my paintings and stuff. It takes a lot from planning to executing, and of course I make mistakes and start over. And when you see what can be produced by these machines so quickly and so well, in my opinion, most of them, it's a little disheartening. But still, like I said,
So then, Chris, what's stopping you from using AI to concept your art and then loading that art into a projector and projecting it onto the canvas, which a lot of really high priced artists do, so they don't have to create the same thing from scratch over and over and over again, and then using that AI art as the basis for the painting in which you create? This is just a matter of efficiency. If you are unwilling to create more efficient ways to produce your product, then don't complain if other people are going to use those methods.
said earlier, there's still value in the fact that something comes from a human. Like I said, I think there's going to be ways in which people do not only seek out real stuff, but people who are going to determine
In fact, I
what's
might
fake
start doing that. That's actually
and
a really
what's
good idea. I
real.
hadn't actually
Because
thought
it's
about
kind of
that
like,
before I
Star
said
Trek.
it out
And,
loud.
I have to have my obligatory Star Trek reference
Yes.
in every
There we
episode.
go. Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. But in Star Trek, they have replicators, and replicators can basically make anything that's not life or energy. So they can make food, they can make clothes, they can make weapons, they make all sorts of things. So in the Star Trek universe, even though they can replicate all these things, there's still a number of characters that still value the real thing. So even though they can replicate wine, there are certain characters that want real wine. That was taken from a vineyard. There's characters that want real baseball cards like Jake Sisko, D Space Nine. You know, even though these things could be replicated, there's still value and authenticity. And I think that's something that a lot of people are going to value even more so.
I mean, I don't agree with this though, because like I spend more time manipulating the AI in most cases, not in all cases, but in most cases, the stuff that I'm putting in my store, I spend more time manually manipulating the AI than I do actually creating the AI. So there still is a required human element. I mean, like, look, and a lot of these things, like the faces aren't perfect. They're not. The AI cannot generate words. It does not understand words at all. So if you need words and a logo, guess what? You're still going to need a human to do that. There are imperfections all over the AI that you can never really fully get rid of. So you're going to have to go in and manually edit that. There's going to be color correction that needs to be done to make sure that it shows up in the way that you want it to show up. So there's still absolutely a need for human beings to do that, but using a tool to create efficiency to allow you to concept something more quickly and to quite frankly come up with better ideas, I just don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't. And if people can't adapt to what's put in front of them, again, this is the very definition of survival of the fittest.
As we move into this
I think you're
AI
right.
future.
I think people crave authenticity in every way in our modern society because we don't have a lot of it, you know?
Hmm.
And this is even further in the direction of like less authentic. And I think even the people who are enjoying playing with it right now, I'm not poo-pooing on my friends who are making the AI images of themselves. I just
You literally
thought it
did
was
poo-poo
fascinating
on
to
me,
see how
Carrie. You
quickly everyone's
literally
doing
did.
it.
You
Um,
literally did.
but I think
I
they'll get
literally
tired
have
of
a
it. I think
video of
people will get
Carrie
tired of it and
poo-pooing on
they'll
me for my
crave
AI
that,
art image.
someone I've had a couple of artists give me one artist did a watercolor of me, another one did a color pencil drawing.
Yeah. I'm the
I've
only
had
one
more
that's not
people do
allowed to have an AI
paintings of
art
my dog.
image.
Tiger is amused for many artists.
He's so full of himself too.
He's so full of himself. But that means so much because they put so much of themselves into it, so much
Yeah.
time. They, it's their talent, it's their vision, it's their time, their human love and joy that's poured into it. And I would take that any day over the AI generated image of myself, no matter how fantastical and attractive it makes me look, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think people will get tired of it and
Some
they're
people are
gonna
just
crave
more
the
creative than you,
authentic
Carrie.
Yeah.
art.
Some people like things that are different.
Could you bring up
Different
the
people are allowed to like different things.
NintendoLife.com article? I believe it's
Yes.
the fourth article I sent you.
Yes, Julie Carey definitely
And
has
this
feelings
one
about this.
goes into
I think
it's a
this is
very
a
good
direct
article as well.
response
We're
to
only going to
me.
read a section of it. But this one goes into a lot of artists and the reactions to what's going on, which I find very interesting as well. And if you could scroll down to the section that, let's see which one, who benefits and who loses. If you scroll down to that, it should be right under an image of two cartoon guys.
So just quickly, the headline here is, this is from Nintendo Live feature, how do game developers and artists feel about the rise of AI art? Should we all be worried or is it just a fad? So
It's not just a
this
fad.
part, right?
Thinking that
No,
this is just a fad
keep
is
going.
stupid.
Okay.
So you'll see it. Almost there. There we go.
So who benefits and who loses out? Do you want to read this or you want me to?
Go ahead and read this.
Aside from all the copyright issues,
There are
AI
no
art
copyright
is
issues.
AI art an
Sorry.
actual threat to anyone's career in particular? That's hard to say. The technology doesn't seem to be in a place where it can be openly and legally used as a creation tool.
What are you
But not
talking
everyone
about?
is fastidious about legality. Hollis sees the use of AI in professional art creation as somewhat of an inevitability. Quote, it seems likely that there will be minor usage of the technology in a few subdisciplines in the industry, he tells me, saying that there could be a, quote, very minor genre of games which are made using AI art. but that these will look like they were made using AI art and thus sit in a category all of their
Exactly,
own.
Sin.
Quote, there's really no prospect of fewer people being
Exactly.
needed to make video games. The numbers just go up every year. Oritz considers AI art a nascent threat to concept artists in particular, but more than anything else to newcomers to the trade. Quote, there is growing consensus that at the very least we'll have some job loss, especially in entry-level jobs, she says. And while people of her experience and expertise may not be personally threatened, the loss of junior roles could have repercussions on the whole industry. Quote, those entry-level jobs are pivotal to
Hang
the
on, we
overall.
got a super chat coming in from Sean C. Thank you, Sean. AI art is great for generating my D&D characters because I can't draw. I'd love to commission a proper artist, but I can't afford them generally. With AI, I can bring my mental vision to life. I have people in my writers group in my Discord that's run by like Jennifer and Sin and all these great people who these are people who are using AI art to generate the characters, like visual elements of their characters or the scenes of their writing, so that they can have a visual reference as they're writing their work. I mean, it just makes sense. I strongly doubt that's going to work because it's not really violating the copyright. And anyone who actually understands how AI is made, they use the images to teach the machine about different elements. You cannot spit out a carbon copy of any one image.
Health of our creative workforce ecosystem and to the livelihoods of so many artists, or it says, noting that the loss would be especially significant in reducing accessibility to the industry. These entry level jobs are especially important to artists who do not come from wealthy backgrounds. Automation replacing workers tends to only benefit the people who already have too much money, agrees Rudy. With how poorly
Oh,
just about
Carrie's a
everyone else is
socialist
doing
now.
these days
Holy shit.
economically, I'm definitely feeling a bit uneasy about things that move that needle further. But it's worse than even that, argues Oritz, because at least the production lines didn't literally steal from the workers. Quote, unlike past technological advancements that displace workers, these AI technologies utilize artists' own
No
data to
one
potentially
stole
displace those
from
same
anyone.
artists.
If you don't
Oh, I
want
see. They're taking their own, like what you talked about, because they have to.
if you don't want people to be inspired by your work, then don't put the images on the internet. And if you do put the images on the internet, then don't be surprised when people look at them and are inspired by them.
Draw from existing art that real
Yes.
created. Okay. Rudy agrees,
You know
envisioning a
that's
more
true, Tinge.
specific future scenario. Quote, I'm definitely worried that some people who would
God,
normally
I wish we
hire
had
an
the cherry
artist
buttons
they like
sooner.
for commissions or in the video game world concept art will be perfectly happy with the warts and all computer generated pastiche of that particular
Boo-hoo,
artist's
too bad,
style
so
instead.
sad.
I think that might be it. All I wanted to read from.
Do it,
Yeah.
bot. Do it.
So, yeah,
Make an
like you
AI of
said,
Carrie.
and that's going to tie into another article I have. A major concern of a lot of artists right now is that their work is being used without permission. And
Then
so a
don't
lot
put
of
it on the
artists, and I have an
internet,
article on this,
for
who put
fuck's
their work
sake.
on ArtStation or DeviantArt, are they for DeviantArt, for a while they were going to allow their training courses. I should back up. I talk as
Okay.
if people know what all these are. So ArtStation, DeviantArt are art websites. People can post their work. They can also take classes, training, watch training videos, all sorts of things around art, concept art, 3D modeling, stuff like that. And so both of these websites offer training and in AI art. And some of that training previously has drawn on the art that existed on their websites, and this caused a major stir. And if you could bring up the article, the creativeblog.com article, or no, sorry.
Then that's the price you pay, man.
The
If you put your art online and people see it, they're gonna be inspired
arttechnica.com
by it. It's just the way it
Is this the
article,
is.
one
please.
about the
If you
protests?
don't want that,
Yes.
don't put
So
it
this
online.
protest
But if
is
you're gonna
from
put it online,
ArtStation,
then don't be surprised.
and when the
All
very
right.
end of last
I'm going
year.
to fast forward a little bit because I want to get, but I have to go at 7 because I have a supporter call in my community at 7. But I want to get to this game where they played, where they wanted to try to tell the difference between AI art and like non-AI art. Is this what they're doing? All right, this might be what they're doing here.
Oh, so, okay. So Min Huang uses the name Ben Moran.
But I have some videos. So all these videos are basically compilations of images people have made using AI programs. And so let's start with some of the more, I don't want to say serious, but not
Really?
funny, just interesting ones first, and then we can play some
That's
funny ones.
interesting, Thomas.
Is
Um,
this? Can we start with the one? What prompts do I use?
It is the same thing.
Oh,
That
sure.
It
That
is.
was a, yeah.
Just because you don't like what's being inspired by it doesn't mean it's not the same thing. The copyright is not being broken. It is not spitting out the same image. It is teaching an algorithm how these things work. And the only reason that you're upset about this is because you're afraid that you're not going to be able to make money. And what I would say to you about that is that if your ideas are good enough and your work is good enough, it ain't going to fucking matter. So maybe instead of complaining, you should work on your own ideas and your own skill set and get better. Because if you have good concepts, ain't no AI going to be able to beat you. But I cannot go into an AI art tool and say, I want this image. That's not how it works.
I will show you how these are made. So this is just kind of visual thing. If you go to the 5:17 mark, and
Okay.
this is just, and let's watch like a minute and a half or so of it. But
5:17.
Yes.
Okay, this is not the game yet. I want to get to the game. Okay, maybe this is the game.
Be disturbing AI art. So
Yeah, you're gonna have such a hard time falling asleep tonight because you're just gonna be thinking about it.
okay.
I think the second at the very bottom, the second to last one. I think that's a good one to start. And
Okay, you can play along with us at home. We're going to see if we can tell the difference
Excellent.
between human art and AI generated
Let's
art.
do it.
And I, as I mentioned earlier, might end up being embarrassed because I feel confidently that I can tell the difference.
Willing.
And
All
the
right.
AI art is
Well, we'll
lacking
see what
something,
images they
and my
used
gut
and
will
if they
know.
used good ones or
So
bad
let's see.
ones.
Drum roll.
Have you looked through these already?
Not really. Just like kind of briefly looked. It's
No,
towards the
it's
bottom.
not.
You
It
scroll
happens.
down.
Bro, this is the last fucking time I'm going to say this. I have a fucking dolly painting that wasn't painted by Dolly right above my head. Artists take from other artists all the time. It happens all the fucking time. It happens all the fucking time. Anyone who says that this doesn't happen, do you think that Create got fucking permission from Dolly to paint an elephant on stilts that looks exactly like Dolly? To paint a melting clock that looks exactly like Dolly? No, he didn't. Because he was inspired by Dolly. This is the way it works. And if anyone says this doesn't happen or that it's frowned upon, is full of shit. I'm sorry. It's not true. It happens all the fucking time, all throughout history. Anyone who has studied this much of art history or has ever been to a museum knows that this is true. Everything else is just an excuse. Jesus Christ.
There's like an article on top, and then at the very bottom is when they have the options from the game. There we go.
Okay.
So
we're going to actually, let me make it a little smaller so we can see. Can you guys at home still see this? Was this created by AI or human? I'll make it a little bigger so I can. Okay.
AI.
This, What are you saying?
I'm gonna say AI.
So am I. This is AI.
Alright.
I can tell a dirty robot did that.
Whoa, now. Robophobic. I
Tried to fool me. Was this created by human or
Human.
AI?
Human.
I'm gonna say human, but I'm probably wrong.
Yeah. I feel like I'm being tricked on this one.
Dirty robot trick.
Yeah,
Human.
dirty robot trick. You're saying human?
Oh, so
Yeah,
you're
let's
saying it's
go
okay to
human.
steal from the masters? Oh,
I
okay.
think
Okay, you
it's
see how
an
that
AI,
works?
but we're
Oh,
gonna
go
click.
AI then.
I'm not
Let's go
talking
AI.
about studying.
Roll the dice.
I
Roll
have
the
a fucking dolly painting right over my head, bro.
Was this created by human or AI? This is a human.
Human.
Created by a weirdo. That's who it's created.
Human.
What do you think?
It's human.
I think a human made this.
Okay.
Was this created by
AI.
human or AI?
I'm gonna say human on that one. I don't. Something
Really?
about it. You think it's AI? Why?
That's AI.
No, I'm gonna trust you because you know more about
Oh
digital
no!
art
Don't
than
trust
I
me.
do.
I don't know. I just
Oh, wouldn't
feel
that be funny,
that it's human.
James?
That's human. Okay, I'm gonna go with
Yes.
your selection.
No
although
other
I'm
reasons. There's
a
nothing
little
else about
iffy
it.
on
That's
that
just
one.
like it's just me that feels that way.
Was this photo taken by a human or generated by AI?
AI.
Damn it, I wish there were fingers in it.
Show us the fingers.
Just show us fingers. No.
AI.
I say AI.
AI. Yeah. Could be a trick. Maybe they're all AIs. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. They're like
AI. Was this created by human or AI?
Wait, no,
I
AI.
think that's AI. It looks
AI.
something very smooth, very polished about it.
Yeah, look at the fingers.
See
that? See those,
Oh, Carrie,
those
so you're
alien
saying AI art,
fingers?
so you're saying AI art is perfect,
Gotcha.
Carrie?
Gonna
Oh,
try
you're
to give me
saying
a
it has
counterfeit
you're
Mary?
saying it has
You gonna do that to
imperfections,
Mary?
Carrie?
Gonna give Mary all those fingers?
Oh.
Look at the baby Jesus, how many fingers he has. Offensive.
Can't even
Carrie
tell.
discovers that AI art has imperfections
Okay.
too.
Submit it. Let's see. Better tell
Have
us
to
our
scroll
score.
up to see the answers.
Better tell us our score.
You're not going to tell us? Oh, view accuracy. We got this right. This was AI, these two old men.
Okay.
Where are you seeing this?
Where are you seeing that?
See.
Did it pop up in another window?
Oh, it must have popped up in another window. Okay, hold on. Let me share. There we go. So here are the answers. So this one we got right. This was created by AI. These two old men.
Very smooth, very fluid. Seems AI-ish.
Now this one, I should have listened to you. The next one, this is created by a human.
Ding,
And
ding, ding.
I just thought it was a trick. And I should have gone with your gut. That's created by a human.
I got that right.
Okay. We got this right. I knew this.
Yeah.
I knew this was
stupid robot.
Yeah. Human artist. Okay.
I got that
we
one
got
right.
this one right.
Yeah.
The digital art. This is created by a human.
Oh. All right.
We got this one right. This photo is AI generated.
I got that one.
Yeah, I should know about those eyes.
Yeah, the eye was off.
Yeah, too close together.
People do actually have
and of
eyes
course
that
we
look
got
like
this
that.
one right because of the fingers. This was AI generated.
Hey,
so all except for
pretty
one.
Good.
We did very. If I had listened to you on this one, we would have gotten them all right.
Yeah, robots can't fool us.
Can't fool us, dirty robots.
Ah.
I can't wait till Carrie gets automated out of a job. For being
what
so
about you guys
boring.
in the chat? Show me the fingers.
Is that it?
Oh, tell me now.
7 fingers.
Is that it? That's the only quiz?
Finger.
I want
Show
another
me your
quiz.
hand.
Okay, I want another quiz.
The robots come for us. Oh, night train. Okay.
Oh man, I'm so sorry I couldn't make it, Joa. I wasn't feeling well.
Artificial intelligence or
but I hope you had a great time.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, let's do another one.
Were these artworks created by AI or a human? Okay. This is a pencil drawing of a horse galloping on the moon with Earth in the distance.
Let's say human. Looks
Human.
like a junior high. Or
Because that's
elementary
not a
kid.
pencil drawing. That's not a pencil drawing at all. That's a human.
Okay.
That's not
I
how
think
AI
this is
generates
AI
pencil drawing.
because
Why-
look at
why
his
say that?
hoof. See how his hoof's all
Blurry?
blurry?
Oh yeah.
I know it's not a finger, but I still feel like. Can we select AI even though
Not
I caused
how
us to get that other one wrong?
AI generates
Do it.
pencil drawings.
Made by AI. Oh my gosh, it was made by a
Oh.
person.
Told
Again, I
you.
should always trust
Told
you.
you.
Ah,
Carrie.
that's my fault. Okay, we're going with your gut now. 'Cause I've
Oh.
already messed up one. 4 artworks
AI.
of computers from the 2000s in neon colors in pop art style.
AI.
I think this is AI.
That's
You think this is AI?
100% AI.
Yeah.
I agree. Yes, it was made by Doll-E too.
Dolly.
A photorealistic image of a rabbit sitting on top of a tree in the early morning rain.
AI.
This is AI.
I'm gonna say human because I would think that AI would do a better job with the shading and the color tone, but I could be
Really?
wrong.
I think the rain.
I like how they said in the beginning that AI art was bad because it's too perfect and it has no imperfections. And then when they're actually trying to figure out what the AI art is, they're like, where are the imperfections? It's almost like AI art does have imperfections.
Looks weird. I think this is AI, but we're going with your gut. Oh my goodness, I'm glad we did.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at you. It was made by a person.
Ooh.
A color pencil drawing
AI.
of a king making a sandwich in a luxurious kitchen at lunchtime.
Ugh.
I don't know if that would, if an
Look at the
AI would
fingers.
interpret that as a
Look at the-
luxurious kitchen. to
Look
be
at the
honest.
fingers. Okay, on the right hand, it's like he's like his fingers just kind of bleed into the. You can't really tell how many there are. This is AI.
That's a tough one.
That's AI. The words are fucked up.
It's that's AI.
I guess.
The words on the
Look
table.
at that
I'm confident
hand.
about this one.
AI. Yes.
All
Made
right.
by
All right.
Dolly.
Well,
It's
well done. Well done.
the fingers, man. A cartoon style image. of,
It's an Airbud. What's that?
Human.
a cartoon style image of a Labrador dunking a basketball over a human opponent in New York City.
Human.
Of course, the AI would do this. It hates this human. It's
This might be
human.
human.
I think.
Because it sucks.
What do you
It's
think?
human.
Let's
I don't
try
know.
human.
Let's go with your gut.
Let's go with human.
No.
Son of a-
Wow.
Either way, it's terrible.
It's really bad. It's not good.
AI should be destroyed regardless.
A Renaissance style oil painting of a pod of dolphins eating fish at a long table. Mm-mm.
I'm gonna say AI.
Human.
This
My
looks. This is AI, I think. Correct.
Mm.
Look at that robot trash.
gut.
A cartoon
Harry is such
style
a
image of a
bitch.
kangaroo taking a selfie in front of a volcano as it spews lava.
Human.
Wait. This color. I'm gonna say human.
Human. Correct. This is much better than the Airbud one.
Yeah.
An elderly magician taking
AI.
a selfie in the
AI.
desert during
No
an
question.
apocalypse.
AI.
Well, that's just awesome.
This is AI.
You think so?
See, the
Yes.
problem is they're
Oh,
using
okay.
Dolly, which
Well,
isn't always
that's-
Look
great.
at the hand
to be
here
honest.
on the
It's
right
cutting
side.
off, so we can't tell.
Yeah, but you
That's
can
true.
tell it's
That's
already
true.
messed up. It's effed up.
Yeah. All right. Let's
AI.
go AI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dolly. You can't do hands, robots.
It actually can, just not that one. Not Dolly.
A close-up pop art style image of human lips drinking from a steaming hot mug of coffee in pastel colors.
I'm gonna say
AI.
human again.
Human. I agree.
No.
Human.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was about to change my answer because the
It's
teeth
the
look good.
spark of life.
AI can't do teeth.
Last one. We can
No,
defeat
Carrie,
the
it
robots
doesn't.
forever, Carrie.
Come on.
Okay, last one. A cartoon style image of an orange cat standing while wearing a tuxedo and sunglasses.
AI.
I think this is human.
I think it's human too.
Yes.
Yes. You have been defeated,
Woohoo!
robots.
8 out of 10. That's not bad.
Yeah.
All of the images sucked though. In
Now
that
you can
quiz.
sleep well tonight.
Yeah.
Like literally all of the images in that quiz sucked. I'm sorry. That was awful. That was an awful quiz. But whatever, Carrie is wrong and she's just bitter because I have an AI art store and Carrie intrinsically has to hate every single thing that I do. But whatever, other people like it and other people are buying my stuff, and so Carrie can suck a dick. And if you want to see what I'm creating, I am making art that does cultural commentary on the moment that we are all in. And I have all sorts of stuff. I've got these red flag laws or transphobic ones. That's going to be leaving the store soon. So if you want the red flag as transphobic design, you're gonna have to get it in the next couple days because I'm taking it out of the store because it's only a limited edition. It was a special one-time thing. We've got this Be Different design that I really, really love. This is like the best-selling thing right now with the Cheshire cat. I'm really happy about this because so many Cheshire cats look angry. I didn't want an angry one. I wanted a nice looking one, an inviting one, a happy one. And so I created that. I've got a whole bunch of PorkFest stuff going on. We've got all sorts of cool things in the store. You can get stickers, you can get t-shirts. This was the one that started it all. This is Porcupines Playing Poker. And if Kino hadn't told me to put it on a poster, I never would have launched this store because I just didn't think about it. Psychedelic Porcupine is Reagan's favorite. Let's see the psychedelic one. There he is. This is part of my PorkFest 20th anniversary special edition merch that I'm going to be having at PorkFest this year, but you can also get it on online. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. But nope, it's not a copyright violation at all. Not a copyright violation at all because you can do whatever you want with the designs, and libertarians don't care if you put their logo on shit. So that's just the way it goes. All right, guys, that is all I have for right now. We will be gathering in my supporter community in a minute or two to have our supporter call. So I will see my supporters in a couple of minutes in the community, and can't wait to have a nice long chat. If you are not yet a supporter, you can become one by going to carlin.substack.com. And let me show you how to find. If you are already a supporter in my Substack, what you want to do is look for this post here, the Unwoke Roundup, and I'll drop the link there. And then what you do is you scroll all the way to the bottom of the post, and that's where you're going to find your supporter perks. That's going to include access to my supporter Discord, and that's going to include the 2 Zoom links for our 2 weekly Zoom meetings that are exclusive for supporters. They're all going to be under that red box right there. So if you're just subscribed to the Substack and you want to join us, you can come right over, follow the link in the post, and we'll have a good chat. All right, guys, that's all I have. We will be back tomorrow with something way different than this because I'll actually have more time tomorrow. But I will be looking forward to talking to everyone soon. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.